All right, folks. Hey, I'm going to start a video series right now. This is going to be for everybody. This is going to be for the people that have come in very late. There's a lot of people that were at the last radio program and they didn't really have a clue what was going on. So what I'm going to do is I've been praying and I've been asking the Lord, what do I do to help these people? I know that I'm done. I know that I've accomplished my goal. And now this is all just icing on the cake. This is the cherry on top. I said, Lord, how would you have me explain this to people? What would you like me to do in order to, start with somebody that knows absolutely nothing and take them to one of these people that's been watching for, the last 8 years to where they have all this knowledge and they're unmovable because they're on the rock. So he gave this to me. And a long time ago, he showed me this. And then when I was praying, the Lord showed me, I want you to show them the story of the ants and the aphids. This is an actual real thing. This exists. This is a sort of symbiotic relationship that exists in nature. And I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. Here's an image of an ant mound, several entrances. There's ants up here. But you can see that the ant mound is just an indication that there's a bunch of ants way under the ground and that there's a whole system under there going, doing its thing. Okay, so I want to give you a concept. You have this giant system, this ant mound, right? And you have evidence of it because you have these lumps on top of the ground. Okay, but underneath the ground, there's something. The whole system is going on that, the whole entire ant system is at work. Well, okay, I want you to picture one of these rooms. We'll just take any one of them. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to take this one. It says Queen R room. This is just going to be a room that was prepared in the ant mound, a big room for aphids. These are aphids. If you go on Google Images, these are aphids, and you'll see them all the time under plant leaves like this. There you go. Those are a bunch of aphids. Ladybugs actually eat them, and ants will actually attack ladybugs to stop them from eating aphids because of this relationship. So anyway, so these are aphids, and they're little teeny bugs, and they get on plants, and ants like to harvest these things. So, when I say harvest them, they use them as a source of energy. Now watch. So I just showed you what an aphid is. Let me show you a bunch of ants. Okay, here's some ant faces. These are all different ant faces. Okay, lots of different ants have different mandibles for different reasons. Soldier ants, like, the ones that protect the mound. So the point is, there's a bunch of different kinds of ants. There's a bunch of different kinds of aphids. And now you've seen aphids and ants. Okay, and then I've shown you a system called an ant mound. Imagine a whole bunch of ants left this ant mound. Let's say you had a whole bunch of ants get together and they had already prepared a room in the ant mound, and they said, okay, time to leave the ant mound, and we're going to go out and we're going to catch a bunch of aphids and we're going to bring them back to the ant mound. So they're going to take them from the trees or the plants that the aphids are on, then they're going to capture them all, and then they're going to bring them into the ant mound, they're going to put them in a room, and they're going to get them all set up with their favorite food to eat and all kinds of stuff and take care of them. Let's watch. So here's a marauding group of ants, and they're all on a mission. They've left the ant mound, and they're all on their way to catch aphids. And they've gone outside the ant mound, and they've caught a bunch of aphids, and they brought the aphids back into the ant mound. They put the aphids in this big room that they've already prepared for them because they know this is how we're going to get our food. And so they put the aphids in there, and they also cut down plants and bring in plants that the aphids live on, and they put them in the room with the aphids. So let me show you why they do that. Okay, so here we go. So here's an ant, and he is going to eat a secretion off the back of this aphid. Watch. You see that little bubble right there? That's what the ants are after. So what they did is they caught a bunch of aphids, they took them down into the ant mound, they set up a room in there, they give all the aphids all the plants that they want, and then the aphids produce honeydew, and the ants love it, and they use it as a source of energy. Now we have a system that has been set up where the ants left the ant mound, they caught the aphids, they brought them, they put them in the room, and the aphids are all set up, and the aphids are protected by the ants. Now, the ants go and they bring them their flora of choice, and the aphids live on it, and the ants harvest the honeydew. They groom the aphids, they take care of the aphids. So let me ask you this question. If your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother and grandfather were the first group of aphids to be brought down into the ant nest, and they were the first ones, and 20, 30 generations later, you were born, and you were born into that system, how would you know you're a slave? The only way at all, in any way, shape, or form, that you would know you're a slave is if you were able to get outside the ant mound and say, wait a minute, there's something totally different going on here. What if you were in this room that everybody's been in for 20 generations, and another aphid came into the ant mound, walked down through the tunnels, and said, hey guys, you're not supposed to be here. You don't even belong here. You're trapped in a prison and you don't even know it. What do you think all the aphids would do? What do you think all the aphids that were, being taken care of, hey, just loving it, everything's great, ants protect them, they got all the food, making baby aphids, doing whatever they want, everything's great. They got no natural predators, no ladybugs trying to eat them, none of that stuff. They got the ants protecting them. They got the ants cleaning them. They got the ants providing their flora of choice, and the ants are harvesting the honeydew off their back. But the aphids are slaves, and they don't even know it. And let me tell you something. The answer to the question is, how would you know you're a slave? You wouldn't. That's where I come in. That's why the Lord God gave me the gift he gave me. Because Jesus came into the system. He came into the system and he died within the system. He broke down the gates of hell that kept everybody in the system, and he ascended back out of the system to heaven, and then his spirit is able to wake up those that are trapped in the system. And I'm going to use this entire series to show you how the Lord God gave me the scriptures as well as a spiritual gift to prove to you that you're just like the aphid. You've been trapped in a system of control, and the biggest fight is just to recognize that you're in a system of control. Once you recognize it, once you know you're a slave, then you can be set free of it. But if you don't even know you're a slave, people have this nebulous idea of who Jesus is, Yeshua. I can show you who Jesus is. I can point you to who he is. I can show you the scriptures, but you have to open the door yourself. I can show you what door to knock on, but you have to open the door yourself. So that's what this is going to be, a series of videos. They're going to be very short, very bullet point. They're going to be numbered. Every video is going to have a number, like number 1. Number 1 will be Isaiah 29, 15, and 16. That's where this began, the way the Lord showed me to see the system. Here's the other thing. When you're inside the system, when you're in it, you cannot tell that you're part of it because you're in it. You have to be set free of it in order to even recognize that you were in it. Do you understand? No aphid within this mound is ever going to know he was in a prison unless he gets set free. And once, let's say he got out the ant mound, and the other aphid that came in and said, hey, just follow me, and he followed him and he went out, and he's like, my God, there's this whole world out there, and oh my gosh, there's plants and there's this other world. Then he could see that he used to be a slave in the ant mound, couldn't he? That's what I'm going to show you guys. This is the way the Lord explained it to me. This is the way he told me to explain it to you. And this is the way I'm going to do the very best I can. I know that the end has come, and I'm going to use my time to put together this information and the show note links. And I am encouraging everybody. We're going to show you how to do it. To get one of these. Get one of these, whatever. Get yourself a 64, 128 gig. Put all this information on it and put it around your neck, because it's the most valuable information on the planet. And then we're going to start matching all this up for you so you can see where you're really at. All right? All right, guys. God bless. Don't be an aphid that doesn't wake up, because the end of that aphid is eternal suffering.